To a very special episode of the States Up Podcast. I'm your host, Bray Freeman. At the time of this recording, we are about 9-10 days away from kickoff for the 2025 football season at Texas State. Obviously, a very exciting season for the Bobcats, coming off of yet another bowl victory in the First Responder Bowl. Looking forward to year 3 of the G.J. Kinney era. And, of course, that will also mark the final season for Bobcat football in the Sun Belt Conference before moving over to the Pac-12 this time next year. Well, on that note, we have a very special guest joining us. We like to do this about once a year, and that is Ask the AD, where our fans have a chance to submit their questions to Athletic Director Don Coryell. And we've taken your questions from social media. And with that, Don is going to answer your questions on the podcast this week. And he joins us now and States Up. Don, how are you?
I'm good. I just throwing this in there. We don't have to just do this once a year. We can do it more. Available for questions whenever. But appreciate you having me on, man. I'm doing good. We're busy, right? You know, you just said it. Our first football game is on the 30th, and we're almost there. And we've started soccer, and cross country is getting underway, and volleyball is getting underway. We got the Pac-12 move, so all kinds of stuff going on, man. We're busy, but life is good here in Bobcat land.
Definitely so. And I think I said at least once a year, but you're right. Maybe we should try opening up the mailbox.
Why not? Why not, right?
Two or three times a year or so.
Sure.
Well, by the way, you mentioned football kicks off, yes, next week. But the athletic year has already begun, as you mentioned. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Steve Holman's program. So the opener, they take care of Our Lady of the Lake 9-1, go on the road the following Sunday to Incarnate Word and blank the Cardinals 5-0. And then at the time of recording this podcast, just last night in College Station, played Texas A&M to a 1-1 tie, the first time ever the Bobcats have played an SEC opponent to a tie or better. So soccer's off to a resounding start right now.
Yeah, we've got a really good soccer program. We got a great coach. We were texting after the game last night and even talked about it with him this morning. You're in a good spot when you're disappointed that you tied, an SEC team. I thought we had a chance to win that game. He did too. Had an unfortunate injury late, and then actually had a player ejected with a red card, so had to play a player down the last few minutes, which I think didn't help our cause. But yeah, they're playing really well. I think we're going to do really well in conference. Hopefully the injury that we had last night isn't that serious. We'll find out soon enough. But yeah, Coach Holman program is doing great ththings. And if you get a chance, this Sunday we play 11 a.m. Arizona State right here in San Marcos. Come out and support the team. It's a lot of fun and a really good program.
Well, Don, before we jump into the questions here, just, want to look back at the last 12 months. It's roughly been about that long since you and I last did a States Up Ask the AD podcast. A lot has certainly happened since then. You look back at the 24-25 athletic year, and obviously, football, another very successful season, winning a bowl game, and volleyball winning a conference championship. Another tremendous year for the track and field program. Softball wins a regular season title as well. A lot of great moments for the other sports, throughout the athletic year. On top of that, culminating in the Bubas Cup for the second straight year and the third time in 4 years. So as you look back at the last athletic year, for you, what stood out the most?
Well, it's funny, kind of the way you just reacted right there was almost kind of something that I was doing over the past couple of days. We have our new student athlete orientation tomorrow, and I was kind of going through the accolades and all the things that we'd accomplished from the previous year, right? And I know you were just kind of trying to think of, all right, there were so many. What did I forget or what did I leave out? And so I kind of went through that exercise, actually preparing some remarks, and just across the board, we were so good in almost everything. And so I think that's really impressive. But obviously, what stood out the most was the Pac-12 invitation and the Pac-12 announcement. I mean, that's a historical move for us, right? I mean, this place was already energized, and it's just taking it to another level. And it's been so much fun to be a part of that, and to to be able to work on the planning now and what's next for the Bobcats moving into this league after this year in the Sun Belt. So the Pac-12 announcement was probably the most exciting thing for me personally. But again, the success we had in the Sun Belt last year, just tons of good things that can be mentioned because across the board we're really good.
Yeah, and as you said, certainly the biggest highlight was the announcement of Texas State moving to the Pac-12 conference effective July 1st, 2026. And that'll go down as a landmark day in the history of the university and in athletics. And, I think about your time at Texas State, and we're talking early mid 2000s, when Texas State was still, it was known as 1AA back then, now FCS, the Southland Conference. And then it was fast forward to 2011 when the announcement was made that the move was going to be made to the FBS and the WAC. Shortly after that, the Sun Belt Conference, and all those steps along the way, very significant in their own right. But I don't think anybody would have imagined that 13 years ago, when Texas State first knocked on the FBS's door, that one day this university would be a part of a conference with so much history and tradition like the Pac-12, and the schools now that will be a part of this conference really speaks volumes just how far along this university athletics have come since you've been here. As you put that into perspective, what does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot, right? I mean, you said it. There's a lot of people that kind of paved the way for this. And, this wasn't anything that happened in a year, right? This is a culmination of several things that have happened with the university probably over the past 20 years, right? And so there's a lot of people who deserve a lot of credit for the move. Humbled to be a part of it. Obviously excited to be a part of it. But I will say, I do think there were people who thought that this could happen, right? I think there's always been a contingent of people, and a large contingent that who maybe thought, hey, we haven't lived up to our potential at this point. And so I think it's great that we're starting to realize some of that potential, and we're not content by any means, right? Super excited about the Pac-12 invitation, but our goal is to go in there and do really well and represent the Pac-12 really well and represent the university really well.
Well, exciting times for sure, Don, and it's been a joy to be on this journey along with you. I think our time at Texas State's almost been parallel. So, it's been really exciting to, for me to be able to cover it and document it, in different platforms, and to see everything that you've done, with athletics, and certainly in your role and leadership. It's been tremendous to watch. So congratulations on all the success so far, and, can't wait to see how things shape out.
Congrats to you as well, because I look older and you look younger. So nice job. Good work.
Thank you, Don. Well, with that, how about we transition now to the questions we got from our fans to ask you. And I'm going to start with this one from Walter Belansky. Don, as an alumnus and an avid fan of Texas State athletics, I'm curious about the allocation of NIL funds and how they will be used. Also curious about your take on his opinion that kickers in college football are underspent on.
NIL and underspent on kicker. Well, I would just say we're investing heavily in the NIL space, right? We're putting a lot of emphasis into that. One thing I'm excited about is that we now can actually work directly with our student athletes on internal NIL agreements. The dollars that we've allocated towards this, whether scholarships or NIL, those are up to the coach's discretion. I can tell you we're investing in all of our sports, not just 2 or 3 or 3 or 4. All of our sports are going to have an opportunity in this space. In regards to the kickers, that's why we leave it up to the coach's discretion, right? I would trust his opinion on what's more valuable than mine at this point. And so that's one of the things that's nice about this, right? If that's how Coach Kenny feels, right, he needs to invest more in the kicking position. He has the opportunity to do that. It is cool when you're talking about kickers and punters are a little bit different, but it was neat to see David Nunez get that. I'm sure you saw that, Brant, where he was awarded a scholarship just a couple of weeks ago at practice. So obviously there is an emphasis on that special teams and in the kicking game, but yeah, we are investing heavily in that space. That's one of the biggest. It's one of our top priorities right now.
All right, Don. Next question comes from Tanner Whitson. Since the Adidas contract ended in June of this year, 2025, Have there been any negotiations to extend it or discussions about partnering with a different brand?
Yeah, we did actually just extend that partnership. So we're in a new 5-year agreement with Adidas. They've been really good partners to us. We really like their brand. Our coaches like the brand. The student athletes like the brand. So we're happy with that decision. So, yeah, we're going to be partners with Adidas for a long time.
Appropriate question, by the way, because as I noticed, you and I are both wearing Adidas branded polos right now. So
Adidas,
yeah, representing the partnership.
Part of the agreement there, Brent. Come on.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, next one from Doug Bynum. Building on the recent competitive successes across several sports, what are your top 1 or 2 strategic priorities for elevating Texas State athletics over the next 5 years, which of course will coincide with the time of the Pac-12, the first few years of it? And how do you see initiatives focused on holistic student athlete development contributing to that overall vision?
I think in terms of strategic planning and things like that, with this move coming to the Pac-12, we have to rethink things, but we also have to think about how can we be valuable to the Pac-12 and how can we be valuable to the university. And I think the answers to all of that typically probably involve a holistic student athlete experience that benefits them, right? It's all about winning. I think that's how we bring value. We've got to win. And so to win, we've got to put emphasis on certain areas, things that we're already doing and discussing. I've already mentioned NIL, right? That's going to be a big one for us. I can tell you we're making plans for ideally a new academic center in assistance with our training table program and some of the facilities that we're talking about building. We're looking to add to our strength and conditioning staff, which is a big deal for our student athlete development. We're investing in our coaches, right? So they've got the best teachers out there. So a lot of what we do, in my opinion, supports that holistic student athlete experience, which is going to make us more valuable. It's going to bring more wins, and it's going to make us great partners with the Pac-12, and then just continue to push the brand of the university, which is always a big priority for our athletics department.
All right, next one from both Keelan and Kate Andrews. This is a really important question here, Don. When can we expect dollar beer night for a football game, and when are we getting $2 beer and hot dog night?
Great question. We will have to work on that one. We don't currently have plans for those, but plans can always change. I can't tell you. I do think our concessions are priced very reasonably, in my opinion. And I know you can get a $4 Bud Light right now, thanks to our friends at Brown Distributing. They're a great corporate partner of ours. But you can get yourself a $4 Bud Light right now. The other thing we're doing, and help me with this one, but we've got the UFCU Pac-12 Stadium Cup that we're doing, that we're selling for $50, I believe, is like a commemorative piece. And then you can bring that to the game each time and you get $1 refills. Now, I don't think you can get $1 beer refills, but you can get $1 refills. But yeah, no, I think we've got some pretty good concession deals, and if we can bring those prices down a little bit, we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, we had the chance to actually promote the cup when we spoke with the UFCU leadership on the podcast just a couple of weeks ago. Next question from Curtis Spillman: will there be a Texas State sports app?
We don't have any plans right now to develop our own Texas State sports app. We're working really closely with the university on the TXST mobile app, which is what our students use, for a lot of the things that they're trying to access from a university standpoint. So you can go in there, you can get our schedules. It's how our students scan into our games. I would encourage our fans to get in there and download that app. A lot of the functions that we would do on a sports specific app, those are going to be within this TX State mobile app. So I'd recommend you grab that app and download that for latest news and different things like that.
Okay. Now some additional questions from social media here. First one, didn't get a name attached to this question, but is Texas State considering adding any more sports?
I think that's a good question. That's something that I think President Danforth and I are both interested in exploring more. And I think with this move to the Pac-12 with some of the sports that they sponsor, I think that might give us the opportunity to look at that a little bit more seriously. So yeah, I would say there's some interest in looking at expanding our department some.
Okay. All right. What kind of new game day experiences can we expect at UFC Stadium this fall?
Okay, so the one that we're all ready to get open and have some fun in and share with our fans, the Johnny and Natalie Wiseman Football Performance Center, right? So that's going to be open for our first game against Eastern Michigan. It's a beautiful facility. I think our fans are going to love the hospitality elements that are in it. Our student athletes already love, the weight room, that Bo Trevelyan and his wife Darlene were nice enough to assist with in their son's honor, William. But opening that facility, the party patio up top is awesome. The concourse views are great. The third level hospitality suite is an awesome addition. So I'm really excited about opening that up. Now that we are finished with construction, we can bring back the Kids Fun Zone. So we got the Kids Fun Zone in action, which we haven't had for a couple of years. So great stuff for the kids, right? We do bounce houses, we do face painting, we do petting zoos and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun for those with little ones, and a great view, right? You're right there at field level, right near the end zones. Tailgating, we're adding, and we started this last year. We just got in late on it, but we've added food trailer options out to our tailgate lot in Tailgate Central. So I think that's a great addition for our fans. You don't necessarily have to bring anything, right? You're going to be able to go out there and get drinks. You're going to be able to go out there and get food. So you can just kind of walk around the area, enjoy yourself, and kind of see the sights. And then we do have one big surprise, which I'm not going to share. You'll just have to come to the first game to see. But we've got one big surprise for our fans that hopefully is going to go over really well.
Very cool. Nice teaser there, Don, and maybe a way to draw in a few extra fans for the opener against Eastern Michigan. Last question we got here for you, Don, in this Ask the AD Ask the AD edition of the podcast. What are you excited about for Game 1 next week?
Well, seeing the team in action, right? I mean, we've got so many new faces, right? Seeing how we gel, seeing how we play. I expect us to do really well, but obviously most excited about, watching our football team play. I'm excited to see the turnout, right? What's our crowd going to look like? That's always a question. It's always a little fun and a little scary for me that our students don't get tickets in advance, right? So kind of hard to gauge, your student attendance every now and then, but we expect a massive student turnout. We're expecting a great crowd. So those are two things. I would also say we're going to do some Pac-12 celebration at this game. We weren't able to do that a few months ago when we had originally planned, and so when fans show up at the game on Saturday, we're actually going to have some nice, really nice photo opportunities outside of Gate 2 with a lot of Pac-12 items, right? And so I think that'll be a nice spot for our fans to stop on the way in and kind of celebrate with us. And then during the game, we're actually going to do a really cool drone show at halftime, which is going to focus in on our move to the Pac-12. We've got a post-game drone show that we're excited about as well. So lots of fun stuff going on at this first game.
Well, Don, great stuff. And also thank you to our fans for submitting all the questions as well. I know they appreciate your openness and transparency and being willing to engage with them, over this platform and taking their questions and appreciate that, Don. And is there any other message you'd like to get out to fans as we kind of wrap up the podcast here and look forward to, this new athletic year and what will mark the final one of the Sun Belt before that move to the Pac-12?
No, but I thought it was hilarious, and I know we had some X questions, and I don't think you asked me any of those, which is okay. But I know there were some from Mr. Beef McNasty, and I just had to give a shout out to Beef McNasty. So, Mr. McNasty, thanks for your question on X. I'm sorry we didn't get to it, but no, man, just come out, support the Bobcats. We got a lot going on, but we need you in our corner. We need you out. at our games. There's nothing more exciting to a student athlete when they come out to play their sports if there's a big crowd there to support them. And we've done a great job with that, and we just need to continue to get better. So hopefully we see everybody out at all of our fall events, and we'll get this thing going and hopefully make everybody proud.
Great stuff, Don. Looking forward to the season opener next week, and appreciate your time again.
Okay, thanks, Brant. Appreciate it.
Or that again, Athletics Director Don Coryell, our guest, the States Up podcast for the latest edition of the Ask the AD States Up, as we get ready for the brand new start of the football season and the continuation of the start of the 25-26 athletic year. That's going to wrap up the podcast for this week. For Don Coryell, I'm Brian Freeman, as always, reminding you, keep your States up, and we'll see you next time.
The podcast.